especially for these types of events. So thank you, Mayor, council members, Mr. Hollick, and everyone for allowing us the opportunity to make these promotions a public event. I feel it's important for us in the fire department to share these with the community. It's always a proud moment for me and an honor as the chief to take part in the leadership progression of the department, especially when promoting and hiring new personnel. Before we begin, I just want to go off on a slight tangent and call attention to a unique incident that we had last Thursday. I feel that it does warrant some exposure due to the circumstances. It did involve the heroic efforts of a young boy who lives on Richard Way in North Plainfield. Some of you may have seen the various internet articles that were put out there. Councilman Everett, I think you may have seen. Anyway, last Thursday we responded during the afternoon to a reported house fire with one occupant who was on portable oxygen, an elderly woman, and there was a heavy smoke condition. That was the report that we got on dispatch. On arrival, the elderly woman who lives there was just outside of her front door, but barely just outside her front door, trying to catch her breath and still attached to the oxygen tank through the nasal tubing that she uses, and the tank was still inside the home. The moderate smoke condition coming from the kitchen forced the woman to try to leave her home. But the interesting part of the story is that she couldn't get to her phone due to the smoke condition, and so she was not able to call 911, and all she could do is just get to the front door and stick her head out the window and yell and scream for help. She needed to stay attached to her oxygen too, of course. Luckily for her, a 5-year-old boy, Jason Mejia, across the street in his backyard, he was playing, his mother was inside. He went inside to get his mother because he heard her, and then the mom went over across the street to assist the woman who she saw standing there with the smoke coming out the front door. She also called 911, but thanks to Jason's alertness and attention, especially at such a young age, I think that's what makes this such a great story. So hopefully maybe we'll hear more about that. We'll probably recognize Jason in the future, but I didn't see that. I thought something you should know about. A nice community story. So tonight we're promoting 2 members to the position of captain, 4 members to the position of lieutenant, and we're swearing in 1 newly hired firefighter. 2 captains are due to the retirements of Captains Jeffrey Furling and Randy Sadlon. Captains Furling and Sadlon, they gave a lot to the borough as well as the fire department, and they'll surely be missed. I want to personally thank them for their work and contributions. A few real brief comments about each of them, just one little blurb. Back in 1995, 20 years ago, when the fire department first started handling EMS for the borough, Jeff Furling was one of only 3 EMTs in the entire fire department and part of the original EMS shift. Randy Sadlon was instrumental in the success of our Knoxbox Key Secure program since its inception, and he's taken the lead on most all of our apparatus purchasing committees over the last few decades, helping ensure that we get a proper engine or ladder truck to be delivered to the department. So good luck to both of them in their retirements. The 4 lieutenants we'll be promoting were formerly acting officers who were the fill-ins for their respective captains on a temporary basis or as needed. But due to recent changes in the department's table of organization, they'll now be permanently appointed to the position of lieutenant. And lastly, due to the retirements, there's 1 position open at the bottom at this time, and we'll be filling that spot with a newly hired firefighter. And so now I'll turn it over to Mayor Giordano, and whenever he's ready, we'll start with the first captain, James DePaul.